Hey there, good afternoon. It is 2:02:11, November 11th, Tuesday afternoon, and I just got done soaking my feet. I in the past I used to go get pedicures at one of those little salons. I would say every 3 months, to make sure that my feet were nice and smooth and taken care of. And of course, I'm on a budget, so I've been doing it myself. And luckily, I have the tools to do that. I am not a professional, meaning I get by with what I have, okay? But I would say that a professional would probably do better on using working on my pedicure than I would, but it's the next best thing. And I do believe in taking care of my feet, and that's what I'm doing. For some reason, the message that's coming to my mind right now is that I was always my father's favorite. I do think that maybe I'm a little bit more into grooming than my other siblings. And the message that's coming to my mind is that I always dress nice. Yes, clothes are majorly important to me, and I'm different than my siblings. I don't think they really cared about color, design, prints, and stuff like that. But see, this is the issue about DNA, and I know that I am a distant relative of theirs. Like I believe they would be my great grandchildren if you think about it through the cloning system. But still, you know what? I think it's because maybe my Mary Gordon's DNA was in them or whatever. Whatever the case is, they're not like me. We're completely different people. So the message that's popped in my head right now is that I should feel free to follow up on jobs I applied for. Now, I did do that this morning. I wanted to get it out of the way as soon as possible. And a lot of times, employers are not available. I think I made a video about it earlier today. Unfortunately, as I hit stop of the recording, I got a message saying that it did not record. So I was really frustrated about that. But yeah, I did call on some of the jobs that I applied to last week. And I wanted to mention this because I don't know if my son will never tell me he watches my videos or not, right? I do believe it's because he feels a little awkward talking about it because of his association with his previous association with Bruce Collins and this whole nightmare. Okay, but my son was a minor when he got dragged into all of this. So I want this to blow over. I really just want to go back to work and forget about it all. But everything takes forever, and I get tired of it. I'm tired of dealing with the residual effects of what people did. Now, what I wanted to talk about was this particular position that my son forwarded to me. Now, my son said he just found it online and forwarded it to me. But I personally believe that it was a job requisition that Mary Landucci and that group that was associated with her picked out. The company's name, I believe, I'm just going to call it by its initials. I believe it's called CRC. It is actually a job that is for working in the oil and gas industry. Now, I know when I was working at Flourishing Fart, Mary Landucci had it in her head. I had never met this girl before in my life, but she had this little book of revenge that she was carrying around, and she would huff and puff and stomp around when she was walking around me. So I got this feeling that it had something to do with me. She had a huge vendetta against me, and what the crime was, just me being myself. That's it. So anyway, I think that she kind of recorded things that I don't like, and think because she is obsessed with trying to create some sort of psychological problem with me. She already created financial problems with me, and that she fails to take accountability for. Just like I've talked about my car, I talked about my credit cards, I talked about how they damaged my reputation. And still, I keep thinking, now, if she was responsible for that job requisition, this is my point, is that people like her are never truly repentant. First of all, we know how long this whole issue has gone on. I knew Mary back in 2014, and she was still trying to create problems for me. Okay, so if after everything that I've said, after everything I've proved, okay, she still wanted, if this is the job requisition that she created, she still wanted to keep the fight going. Okay, and I am tired of Mary Landucci. I have no reason to put up with her, and I just want to be done. Okay, so I am not going to follow up on that job requisition. But I do know that it was supposed to be a lot of money. Perhaps maybe she wanted that job. She chose that job because she did realize that I do deserve compensation, but I do not deserve compensation by means of employment because that would be illogical. The thing is, when you are receiving compensation, like for example, how they damage my jobs, how they damage my reputation, how they damage me financially, I should have been able to go to a lawyer who was not brainwashed, okay, who was not highly indoctrinated with the cult mentality, and I should have gotten
proper legal compensation, meaning compensation, straight out cash disbursement. So that means that I do not have to go to a job that is going to make me work harder so that I have to pay to replace the things that I lost. See, Mary Landucci is not a true professional, nor does she understand how to take accountability for anything that she does. I'm actually glad that I rejected that job. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that yes, I killed them through mind work, and it is justified. Perhaps Mary Landucci is dead, okay, and perhaps she is. I'm not keeping track of who is actually not on here. I would think that Mary Landucci would be so humiliated that she would not want to show her face in town. The message I'm getting right now is that yes, I alone have made the celebrities and political leaders wake up and realize about their past lives. I think what Mary Landucci wanted to do is she wanted to be a part of my connection, meaning like anything that I created, she wanted to be like on a committee. She seemed like she was like always following me around when I worked at Flourishing Park. She wanted to be around me all the time. She was always carrying that book, and she always had this like huffy puffy like type attitude, every time she was around me and stuff. So she was one of those people who really made it obvious that she had a vendetta against me. Okay, and so what I'm saying is that my son, if he does watch my videos, okay, and he's not going to tell me whether he does or not. If he does watch my videos, he needs to understand that everything and anything that group says, okay, is usually meant to cause me some sort of psychological harm in some way. Just like, even if I was to make a decent amount of money at this particular job, right, I would still be in an industry that I hated. I hate that industry. I hate it, right? So it's like Mary Landucci is so lowly, so pathetic, so useless, so ugly, so miserable that she wants to sit here and take jabs at me, even though I'm innocent, even though I have no part in the argument. It's just her evil nature that wants to cause some sort of harm. Now, what kind of person does that? What kind of individual wants to sit here and constantly inflict harm, right? Inflict their opinion, inflict their way on you, even when you're innocent. I will tell you, Mary Landucci was filled with demons. Okay, the intuitive message that I'm getting right now had something to do with my wardrobe. Okay, I have every right to have a wardrobe, and yes, I do believe in dressing professionally for my job. Okay, so Mary Landucci was one of those kind of people who was just a tag along. Okay, and dead or alive or whatever, I want her out of my life. The intuitive message I'm getting right now has something to do with this upcoming Christmas season. I would like to have a Christmas this year. Okay, I'm trying to get back to work. Okay, I'm tired of me suffering for the mistakes of other people. I'm tired of me having to deal with, everybody's in it unprofessionalism. And don't get me wrong, it's like I understand I am not in an environment where I'm going to be able to just jump into the kind of industry that I want. Like, I would prefer to work in the fashion industry, something that relates to beautification, agriculture. I'm even open to working for agriculture. I did hear back from Bolthouse Farm. I feel as though they're not somebody who is very proactive on following up the intuitive message. Something about my son living with me, something about people do support the New World Order, and yes, people do realize that I do deserve compensation. I deserve full-on compensation, okay? And yet I still constantly get harassed. See, that job requisition to me is nothing but a form of harassment. The intuitive message I'm getting right now has something to do with my father. It could very well have been arranged by Mary Landucci as well as members of my previous family that I do not acknowledge them anymore. I do not want to work in oil and gas. And see, some people feel as though this group, I had talked about why it was important for me to make just get away from these people, because the problem with that they're causing is too damaging. It's like they want to cause some sort of psychological damage at any cost. You know what I mean? Even though I'm innocent, even though I don't have anything to do with it, it's just that these people are obsessed with trying to, punish me for their own problems. I want nothing to do with it. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is CB's name has been vindicated and now respected in all churches. Okay, and you're right, okay? But see here, Mary Landucci was one of those people who claimed to be a Christian, right? So why would she sit here and spout such venom, right? Why would she be so filled with animosity if she was truly a Christian? Because we know that she was not. Okay, so yes, I do deserve compensation. I deserve compensation, okay? So I tried to call on a few jobs today, and I was not successful. It is difficult to get in touch with, employers, the direct connect to them. And I knew to talk to somebody today. I don't even remember. The weird part is I don't even remember replying for that job, but it was in my list of the jobs that I applied to. So I called over there. She was like, "Well, yeah, you can go ahead and contact the employer through Indeed.com, right?" And I had tried to do that before, and I'm like, no, that doesn't work, right? So the only way that I can really see anything relating to that company was some reviews that people wrote, and they were all bad. Okay, yeah, so it's very difficult. It's very difficult because of Mary Landucci, because of the kind of evil that she is, and the kind of people that she was associated with. And this includes Alita, Terry Collins, and all of these people. I want her shit cleaned up. I'm tired of suffering for these people's problems. And some of these people in this group, I get this feeling that they still want to be friends. Okay, the answer is no. Okay, why? Because you will never measure up to the kind of friend that I have. You're the kind of friend that would always want to take jabs at me. I want to walk away from all of your garbage. I do not want to have an association with you, okay? I want my life to be is what it should be. Like I want to go to work and I want to come home and I want to leave that drama that goes on at work when I come home. Okay? And I do not want to work with these unprofessional people, and I need my son to know that these people cannot be trusted. It is so important that he understands that. Okay? Nothing that comes out of their mouth is truth, and anything that does come out of their mouth, you need to be leery of it. And most of it is meant to somehow abuse him, abuse me, okay? And the very fact that my son is paying for my bills, I do believe that this group is also abusing my son. I do not like them at all. Okay? So what other message do I have, okay? All right. So the message I got earlier, okay, because I was soaking my feet. I was soaking my feet in the tub. I do have one of those little, what do you call it, foot baths, but I was like, I didn't really want to use it. So I just filled up the tub, and I was sitting there on the edge, and I was thinking, okay, I got this message about me moving on from that job offer, and I think it was for the best. I do believe that that job offer was created by this particular group, okay? And because of this slight, and I look for just any kind of slight, okay? So yeah, it's a decent paying job, but like I said, it's an industry. Like it's always some sort of negative jab at me, and I know they knew good and well that I did not want to work in the oil and gas industry. And see, I believe that Mary Landucci was using all her information about me and putting it in this little book. Mary Landucci has no reason to have revenge against me. I never did anything to her. The message that's coming through my mind is that she saw me as someone who was graceful and elegant, and she was just jealous. I don't want to be around jealous people, and I know I deal with a lot of jealous people, okay? But I am not going to sit here and walk into an environment that is laid out just to be a place of harassment, because the job itself to offer me that is harassment in and of itself, okay? I wish people like Mary Landucci would just get off the face of the earth. I don't want anything to do with her. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that yes, I returned it to sender. I do believe that Mary Landucci was behind that job. The other message I got right now is that people do understand that I am of angelic origin. Yes, I am. And some people, I think they were like, well, how come is it, why am I the way that I am? See, I think a lot of the people that were in these groups that I was associated with, unfortunately, they don't understand what true spirituality is, okay? And like I said, I'm not from organized religion. I do not support organized religion, other than me understanding that people have the right to be a part of it. I know that I was a victim. I've been victimized by organized religion, by cloning ops that use the religious system in order to subjugate me, okay? I'm not comfortable with that, any of it, okay? So I see the Christian church as people who have ripped off true spirituality and have used all kinds of abuse to harm other people. I am recognized for, I think this particular group does recognize me for creating the Blessings Quarterly newsletter. And they've somehow wanted to attach themselves to me. And see, makes me angry. I would never, ever include someone like Mary Landucci, as well as a group that I knew before, in any of my future endeavors, okay? Like I said, when I left their place of employment, I wanted to forget these people. And something about my father, something about yes, I was my father's favorite. I don't know if my siblings are still, my former siblings are alive or not. I do not care if they are or not. Like I said, I meant what I said. Okay? It's like, people don't understand. If this is traumatizing, these people are abusers to me, and it's better for me to make a clean break. It only makes sense. These people are not doing anything for me. They have not done any favors for me, and it's better for me to move on. I do not want to remember them, okay? I get this intuitive message. Something about my son's boss is very supportive of him. I don't know my son's boss. I hope that's true. I at this point, you know, I think my son needs to be very leery of anybody. And I do hope that he has a professional relationship with his boss, okay? But like I said, you know, I've dealt with too many toxic people. And I hope, I'm not going to judge that relationship one way or the other. I'm just saying is my son does not realize what length people will go to create problems. Okay. And just like, you know, I was talking to my son about the food stamp thing. Do I think that, I don't care what anybody says, all of that was a stage thing, and that actually was something that was created by this particular group. They want to profile certain people. They want to profile people who have good lives, people who work hard. They want to profile people who take care of themselves. They want to profile people who live correctly. Okay, so I know that people like Mary Landucci is basically someone that she's a, what do you call it, run of the mill office worker. She's the kind of person who makes up rules and ends up creating catastrophes just like this. Okay, and these are the kind of people who are fighting for their jobs to stay in their positions by keeping people like me out, right? Because they don't want anybody to really do their job. Okay, so yeah, I deal with this issue, and I'm tired of dealing with it. So anyway, the other message I have is that something about me living for myself. Okay, I do realize that my ex family, as well as my ex family, yeah, the people I grew up with, as well the kids at school, and then like the Mary Landucci, the Lita, and all these people, Terry Collins, and all these people. They're like, well, live for yourself. They were trying to act as if I was selfish for not wanting to be. Of course, I don't want to be any. All of that stuff is from my past, okay? And my past, because of these people, have proven to be extremely traumatizing, okay? These people destroyed my stuff and then thought it was funny to create some sort of screwed up job requisition. These people are not repentant. They are of the devil. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that I have a lot of fans gathering to praise me. Okay, and I don't know this because I'm not. They actually siphoned my channel, which, by the way, should be 100% in control of the United States government. That's the White House. It should not be in anyone else's position or possession or control or of any sort of siphoning other than these people. Okay, the intuitive message I'm getting right now is that I'm supposed to keep my eyes open, my sights and sounds for sensations and healing sounds of new energy. I hope so. Okay, I'm tired of dealing with these people. You know what I mean? I'm tired of dealing with, you know, the Mary Landucci's and all of this. And how hard is it should be to get a job? I apply. I tell people I have the skills, the same skills that's being posted. Give me a job interview and hire me. I understand I'm not going to work in the kind of industry that I really want to work in. So it's all going to be just pretty much equal work to me. I understand what I want to do. I can't really be picky. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that, yes, people do see me as someone who is very graceful and elegant. That's nice, okay? But these are the things I believe you're supposed to aspire to, and this is what, you know, I choose to be. And like if I had children, more children, I have a child, but if I had a daughter, I would raise her to be the same way, and that's my right. That's my right. You know what I mean? And no, I don't. You know, I don't adhere to the same weird beliefs that Mary Landucci believes in. Like she convolutes people like her convolute the employment sector with bullshit, retarded stuff like kingdom spouses that slow you down. It's not supposed to be that way. She's somebody who promotes, what do you call it, human trafficking. Okay. So anyway, I'm getting tired of it. Okay, so apparently people seek my validation. This must be in the professional world. I have not had any communication with anyone other than, you know, the bullshit job interviews that I have. I'm trying to set up some job interviews because I really want a job. I want to get back to work as soon as possible. I'm tired of being at home, okay? And I should have been at work a long time ago. So at what point am I going to see compensation? The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that people only support the New World Order initiatives. I'm glad. And actually, this is not even the New World Order. This isn't, not necessarily. When I refer to the employment laws, it's always been that way. It's always been that way. Okay? It was that way in the 1990s, the early 2000s. It's just that people have ignored employment law. I've had to deal with the most unprofessional people, and I'm tired of it. Okay? So, okay. Okay, and my father's fruition. People do understand that I am somebody who is, you know, I don't adhere to people's religion. I respect your religion, okay? But I'm there to do a job. That's it. I'm only there to do a job. I'm not there to, get involved with anyone's drama. I don't want to get involved in anyone's drama. Okay? I just want to do my work. Okay? I do understand that I'm acknowledged in all faiths and religions, okay? And people look at me as powerful, and then I get this message that I'm wanted in certain circles. Now I don't know. I have, I'm somebody who has high standards. I would never associate with somebody like Mary Landucci, ever, ever. Okay, but I'm getting this message about my company, Gordon's Occupational Engineering, attracts numerous customers. So what is it? Do people get around and talk about this instead of actually calling me? By the way, my phone number did change. I forgot to say that. I decided to let my phone number change. This is another issue that I deserve compensation from. Mary Landucci has ruined so much, and everybody in the United States seems like they're supporting of me. Okay, Mary Landucci, if she didn't commit suicide already, she really needs to. Oh, the intuitive message I'm getting is yes, it's known that I am of the divine. Mary Landucci was somebody who was a front runner of human trafficking. Okay, she was somebody who created a lot of problems, and you do not want to conduct business like this. And a lot of people think that this is the proper way of doing it. Maybe Mary Landucci grew up in a family where, maybe her father was a kingdom spouse to her mom, and this is the kind of stuff that happened. But this is the improper way of doing stuff. And there's nothing wrong if Christians want for their husbands to help find them a job. It's just that it should not hit the employment sector. That needs to be discussed at home. If they have a special, what do you call it, a special network or whatever, go ahead and arrange all that stuff. But to sit here, like, let's just say, for example, the woman wants to get a divorce. Is she going to be, stuck? Is she going to be able to get the kind of resources and help that she needs? Or is her husband going to be able to prevent her from finding another job? See, this is what I'm talking about. These workplace violations, all based on people's either traditions or whatever. Mary Landucci was a waste of time. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that people want to be invited to my parties. I haven't had any parties. I know the kind of parties I'd like to have. I would like to have certain social engagements. Unfortunately, I am not in a position to do that at the moment, and nor do I know anybody. I am literally starting off from a clean slate. Everyone I used to know is no longer around, and right now I'm starting all over again. And it's not easy, okay? But this is one of the things that happens when you are a victim of human trafficking and gang stalking. Human trafficking and gang stalking affects every aspect of your life, okay? And they will come in and destroy your stuff and feel like they're justified in doing it. Just like, Terry didn't think that she needed to pay me back or fix the fact that she ruined my career. And the reason why she's like, well, you smoke weed or you wear nice clothes. In her mind, she thinks that that's justification to bully somebody. We all know that, going back to the school days, if I saw a kid with a lunch pail that I didn't like, and if I whopped him upside the head, I would be reprimanded. Why? And my excuse would be, well, he has a lunch pail that I think is goofy. Okay, then you're basically bullying somebody, right? Ignorant people who do not know the definition of what they're doing. Okay, now I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I'm going to get all my stuff together. Hopefully, all these people are dead. Every single last person who was a part of this network better have their brains blown clear out. Why? Because you have affected my life, you have slowed it down, and you don't even take the time to make it quicker. Like I said, I don't care if I work anywhere at this point. As long as it's, I'm going to work in a way where I feel comfortable, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to go back to work. Okay? So the message I'm getting right now is that something about me hoping to be, people are projecting that I will be employed before December. I hope so. Because I do want a Christmas. Okay? I'm tired of these people. I'm really tired of these people. The other message I'm getting is that apparently there's a lot of people here in Bakersfield who support my idea of women of substance or men of substance, people who care. I don't know why in the world Mary Landucci thought that you're not supposed to dress up for work. Because I'm trying to remember what Mary Landucci dressed in. I'm trying to remember. I remember her wearing jeans a lot. Okay, and literally when I think about it, most of the clothes I wore at work were jeans. Okay, so I don't really think I'm too far off. Okay, I mean every once in a while I wear a dress or something like that, but my clothes really aren't. She wore jeans, I wore jeans, so I don't know, whatever. I'm glad that people do. Okay, so the message I'm getting right now is that people look at me as very humble, and yeah, I do think I'm humble. But I do think that Mary Landucci and her stupid group of people were trying to humble me, and it was their excuse because they felt, like they were trying to compare herself to me, and I felt angry because her stupid game has affected my life. So if she did blow her brains out, I'm very grateful for it. I'm very grateful for it. Why? Because you know what? She's never going to be able to compensate me for what I lost. Okay, so like I said, I think that people, perpetrators of human trafficking, they need to, and we need to have the death penalty for these people, and possibly even a public execution so that they could be make sure that people understand this. This includes, and human trafficking encompasses all of the things relating to it, like stalking people, stalking, and you'll be surprised how many employers assist stalking behavior. You know what I mean? Like I said, I didn't want anything to do with Bruce, but he was still able to have accommodations. He was still, hey, I told people I didn't want anything to do with my family members. But what did they do? Put me in situations where they were still having access to me. This is what I'm saying. I am tired of dealing with these run-of-the-mill people sitting at these desks. They are not competent to do their work. Okay, something about me being, okay, they're not competent to do their work. So I hope that business owners here in Bakersfield are paying attention to what their employees are doing, because I know what a lot of people do. They take advantage of the fact that most business owners don't know what their employees are doing. They think because they hired a manager or a general manager that they're going to man everything, that they can just leave, or they can walk away from the business, or at least the day-to-day task of the business, feeling like, oh, I feel safe because our general manager is on top of it. I will tell you, if you did some serious investigating, read their emails, look at their phone, you'll see a lot of them deal with human trafficking, bullying, and everything else. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that. Okay, I myself am tired of suffering for other people's problems. The end of the message I'm getting right now is that my management skills are recognized. Okay, and the problem with it is that I'm still unemployed. I'm still unemployed. And see, if there was some sort of issue going on here in the city of Bakersfield, they should have made it so that I would be able to leave easily. See, this is where the accommodation, the failing to accommodate me appropriately. Okay, if I was not, if these people were having an issue with me here in Bakersfield, I had made, many efforts and said many times, I just need to go where I can continue my life and find a job. Okay, I now no longer have money to just move. I don't have any of that stuff. Okay, and no, I am determined to not let my son suffer the consequences. It's not my son's fault. Okay, I'm tired of dealing with irresponsible people. You know what I mean? And okay, so something about people here in this community who are associated with Mary Landucci, they felt as though I was the only person who ever had any sort of success at work, and they felt overshadowed by. They felt that I overshadowed their talent. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I just never saw where they did. All I know is that they screwed everything up. They screwed everything up. Okay, and really, she's such a failure. You know what I mean? And she was still, like I said, to the very end, still trying to take jabs at me. At the very end, okay? Like I said, I don't believe any of that nonsense about the whole issue. And I did get my SNAP benefits, but my point is, I don't believe any of that nonsense what they were saying about, oh, they're because the funding and all this other stuff about SNAP benefits. No, there was an outright genocide issue going on here in the United States, and they were attacking people who they felt were better off than them. Okay, and they need to learn their lesson. They need to learn their lesson. We're trying to mess with our food supply, trying to sit here and create problems. If you find yourself on SNAP benefits and you've always been somebody who made sure that you went to work, I will tell you, when you are a targeted individual or victim of human trafficking, everything that goes on in your life is their fault. Meaning, you can't find a job because they put it in a system in place where you can't. You're trafficked by them, okay? So then they'll keep you out of work, and then you're going to sit here and go to the social services, and they will try to dominate that too, okay? Try to take away your food stamps, try to have you killed. That's exactly what they're trying to do, okay? So just so you know, when you're a victim of human trafficking, that is exactly what they do. And when they sit there and put a religious spin on it, okay, that's when it gets really deadly. Okay, so my son needs to wake up. Do not trust these people. Okay, wake up. Okay, so anyway, I am very glad that I'm getting support. Oh, yes, and it's really important because right now, a lot of people who have previously, believed in this whole idea of, being a part of Christian networks. A lot of people are looking at me and they're acknowledging the fact that I live peacefully, joyously, and I do represent freedom. See, freedom is not about rebellion. It's about working and living within a certain guidelines. I hurt no one. I harm no one. Okay. So anyway, I think I'm done with this video right now. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the cuticles on my toenails, and then I'm going to be back with another video sometime later. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye bye.